Have you been wanting to start a business, but you struggle to decide if you can do it with your day job? Starting a business is a huge deal, but it doesn't have to be a hard process. I started City Girl Savings when I had a full-time job in corporate America. I'm not going to lie to you and say it was easy managing both, but it gave me time to grow my business without having to worry about how my bills would be covered. If anyone is considering starting a business, 9 times out of 10, I'd recommend they start it when they have their normal job. The early stages of business are so unknown, so having the stability of your other job can be comforting in so many ways. In this episode, I'm sharing why you should start a business when you have a day job. My hope is that this episode empowers you to take a leap of faith and just start. Now, before we get into today's episode, I want to answer a City Girl Solutions question that came in. The question is this: you don't talk about your boyfriend much. Can you fill us in on that relationship? Well, coming right out hot, huh? So I am more of a private person. I know that I am a financial influencer. I'm a financial coach. I work with people all the time, but I am just naturally private. So that's why I don't talk about my boyfriend much, but I can share a few things with you. So we will be going on 12 years together. It's crazy. We met when we were literally babies. Not really, but we met in our early 20s at Bank of America, actually. And we were both living in California, and we worked together. It was nice in the beginning, but when you work together and then you spend all your time together after work, there really isn't much of a separation. So that in and of itself causes or can cause problems. And when you're young and insecure, all of that kind of plays a role. But we have been able to move past a lot of those early stage hurdles in our relationship, and we live together now. We have a lot of things in common. We love to travel. He also runs a business. We enjoy working out, prioritizing our health, trying new things. So we have a lot of things in common. What else can I say? I think I mentioned this. We live together. We have 2 dogs. He owns his own luxury auto paint protection company. So he details high-end cars, protects paint on high-end cars. He is from South Africa, so he moved to the United States when he was 12 or 13, came here with his mom. His mom, his sister, and his mom's husband, so his stepdad, live in Austin, so we see them often. And he just makes me happy. He's my best friend. He was the first guy that I could truly be myself around. Even way back when I thought I knew myself, but there was a lot to learn. We are very open and honest with each other. He's much more direct than I am. I maybe will watch my words, whereas he will kind of say it how it is, but it's helped me develop tough skin, and it's also helped him kind of learn that sometimes it's best to sugarcoat things. But anyways, for being a private person, I'm sure talking a lot about us, aren't I? Hopefully that fills you in a little bit on my boyfriend, whose name is Wes. And if you have more questions, just let me know. So before I dive into today's episode, I want to encourage you to check out episode 19, Is Starting a Business Really for You? I will link to it in the show notes. But if you're not sure if you actually want to start a business, and maybe it's just society telling you should, I think that episode will help you figure out if it's what you really want. If it is, fantastic. If it's not, no problem. So let's dive in. Reason number 1 to start a business with a day job. You can focus on building your business without worrying about money. Depending on the type of business you start, there's likely a lot more money going out than coming in, especially in the beginning. It's normal. Startup costs, equipment, web domains, etc. Imagine starting your business and not having to stress out about how you're going to pay your own personal bills on top of all the startup costs. Sure, there may be a different stress of how you're going to manage your time, but trust me, that's much easier to deal with than not having enough money coming in. When you start your business while having other income coming in, you can take the pressure off of yourself to make sure the business brings in money quickly. You can give your undivided attention to laying the foundation of a successful long-term business. And I promise you, the ability to do that is priceless. Remember, the situation is temporary just until you reach your goal. So if you are struggling with managing both your business and your full-time job, it is a stepping stone. It is a temporary situation so that you can get where you're really trying to go. Now, I want to take some time to share with you what my goal was before I quit corporate America. So if you are starting a business and you have your full-time job, I highly suggest you set a goal. How much do you want to have saved? How much do you want your business to make in revenue before you leave your full-time job? Set that goal out and work towards that. Now, I started City Girl Savings in 2015, and it wasn't until 2018 that I decided I wanted to go full-time with it. And I didn't make that happen or make the leap until mid-2021. So I took my time and I made sure I had more than enough reserves before taking the leap. So for me personally, I created a spreadsheet and I titled it Quit Job Goals. And I tracked every time I added money to my savings to help me quit my job. I share this with you to reiterate the fact that running a business and working full-time can be a temporary situation if you want it to be. Set a plan, do the work, and you will get where you're trying to go. Now, you may be wondering, well, how much should I have saved before I take my business full-time? That is 100% up to you. Me personally, I had 15 months worth of reserve saved before I took the leap. That does not have to be your truth, okay? I'm more conservative. I own a home, so I have a mortgage. There are just so many other factors in my life that made me feel like I needed more in my savings before I could really dive in. Some people don't need much. Others may fall in the middle. It's important for you to think about what you need, what your situation looks like, and then set the goal based on those things. Okay, reason number 2. You can take your time and try different things. When I first started City Girl Savings, I had a very specific idea of how I wanted things to be. Just listen to episode 7, 10 biggest lessons learned from running my business, if you don't believe me. Of course, after those things I wanted were in place, things needed to be changed. And changing things often requires time and money. Starting a business with a day job allows you to be innovative, allows you to test things out and try different strategies to grow your business. Again, you don't have to worry about your business making money instantly. You can focus on testing things to find what works best for your customers. Now, I will say this too. Trying different things, experimenting is such an important part of business, whether you are in it part-time or full-time. Things are constantly changing in our world, in our society, and making sure that you can develop the habits early on that allow you to be innovative and think outside the box and be okay with shifting as things change is really important. Moving on. Reason number 3. You can see if the business is something you truly want. Here's some food for thought. Imagine if you quit your job, started a business, and a year later realize that you don't like the business anymore. You may be stuck in a situation because it's your only option and it's making you miserable. If you started the business and grew it while you had a day job, you'd be able to see if the business was something you truly wanted. And if it wasn't, you could let it go and still have money coming in to survive. It's so hard to know what the future holds. Trust me, I've tried planning and just, you can only plan so much. But starting a business with a day job allows you to test out multiple scenarios to see what really works for you. You don't have to feel trapped in a decision because you've given yourself multiple options. I think it's a great way to test the waters and see where you land. And know this, it is 100% okay to change your mind. It is 100% okay to want something right now and not want the same thing a year from now. Me personally, I actually struggle with this. When I set a goal, I have to see it through, even if it's to the detriment of what I really want. Now, I am working on this, so reminding you it's okay to change your mind is also reminding myself. Just because we set a goal and as we work towards that goal, if things change, it's okay if we don't reach that goal. It's okay if we set new goals. It's okay if you decide you want a business now, you start it and decide it's really not for you. It is all okay. But when you start a business, when you have a day job, you give yourself the option to test certain scenarios out and see what will actually work for you. Reason number 4 to start a business when you have a day job: desperate energy can be felt. I recently had a conversation about this with one of my business coaching clients. And yes, I do business coaching. I help people who want to start their own online or coaching business. But we had this conversation, and basically, people can sense your desperation when you're having sales conversations. So if you are approaching potential customers from a place of desperation to make a sale, they are going to feel it. And trust me, it does not feel good to them or to you. When you're not worried about money, you can genuinely talk with potential customers about how you can actually help them. That's what makes someone purchase, the help. They don't purchase to make you feel better or to ensure you reach your sales goal. Desperate energy can be felt from a mile away. So make sure you're not putting yourself in a position to need money with your business. And I believe the best way to do that is by securing a savings or keeping your day job until your business is where you want it to be financially. Sales conversations are hard enough without having to feel like you need to make the sale. Take the financial pressure off a bit by having other income until you're comfortable with those conversations and you are no longer coming from a place of desperate energy. And the final reason to start a business while you have a day job is you don't have to worry about losing your benefits. Take it from me. Paying your own health insurance is not cheap. Add that to the list of things you need to pay for when you work for yourself, and you will surely convince yourself to keep your day job in the meantime. Keeping your benefits going for as long as possible makes a huge difference over time, both mentally and financially. When I worked in corporate America, my insurance was so cheap. My HSA was growing, and I was taking advantage of my company's 401k match. These things set me up for success when I eventually took my business full time. With an HSA, which is a health savings account, these accounts typically last for life. So basically, you put pre-tax dollars into this specific type of account, and you can use that money on any health or medical related expense. Since an HSA is for life, even though I left that job, I still got to keep my HSA, and it still comes in handy today as I pay for things like contacts or co-pays. Another thing that really made a difference was contributing to my 401k. So when you work for a company, you are typically eligible for that company's retirement plan, which can be a 401k, 403b, TSP, etc. And most companies usually match whatever you contribute up to a certain percentage. So for example, my corporate job matched 5%. So as long as I contributed 5%, they would match it. I was with that company for about 10, maybe 11 years, and I contributed to my 401k for the whole time I was there. So I got to take advantage of that match for a long time. So grow your business while beefing up your employer-sponsored benefits. I'm telling you, you will be glad you did. Now, I want you to know that I'm actually taking a mental note. I will write this down later to record an episode all about time management because that's something that you definitely want to master when you do start a business with a full-time job. You know, we have families, we have our own personal hobbies. So when you throw a business in the mix with a full-time job, time management can be difficult. So I pride myself on my current time management strategies, though, I have some room to grow. We all do, but I am taking a note to record an episode about that to help. If you're interested in that, definitely let me know. So, if starting a business is on your list, I hope I've encouraged you to start it while you have your day job. Yes, it will be challenging. Starting a business usually is, but at least money or lack thereof won't be the driving force behind the decisions you make. You can really give this business your mental energy, your mental time, and get it to a place where it's where you want it to be and not worry about finances.